Hello, thank you for watching. My name is Merginator, and this is a recap of the YMTV covered ORL race of the BMW Z4 GTE series, and there was some incredible racing to be had. Round 1 in the wet, and then round 2 in the dry, going around Nurburgring. FTR, GTR, THR, and F4H were representing hard in this first lobby, in the A lobby. And we have familiar names in here. We have Jacob Boquet taking the pole position, F4H South taking second, and THR Sparky Dreamstar in third. Race 1. As the grid walk commenced in the first heat race of the 2018 racing season, spectators and drivers alike noticed one key change. Rain was now falling, and standing water could be found throughout the circuit. In tricky conditions, drivers had to make sure to stay calm and collected through the opening complex of corners. Jacob Boquet got a faultless launch from the line, claiming the whole shot into turn 1 and leading the field into the Mercedes arena for the first time. F4H South and THR Sparky DS got equally good starts, with the former having to fend off a hard-charging THR pilot. Just behind, the puddles proved difficult to navigate as drivers jostled for position in the mid-pack. When the race settled down, Boquet assumed a roughly 2-second lead over the pursuing F4H South, who was eyeing a strong result in his return to Forza Motorsport 6. The real action was unquestionably in the mid-pack, where drivers from 4th to 16th put on a show as they fought for every last inch of the racetrack. THR Ashton Ash looked strong out of the gate before an unfortunate mishap before a patch of standing water sent him down the order. FTR Lothario assumed the lead of the pack, having to defend heavily to maintain 4th behind a breakaway consisting of Boquet, South, and Sparky Dreamstar. The ensuing battle created a train of cars growing 7 cars strong as THR Flex, FTR Ferrari, and GTR Foxy HD and more appeared eager to improve on their positions. The racing in this area of the field was certainly intense. The early portions of the race were highlighted by a masterful late braking move by Foxy on Ferrari into the Vidal chicanery. As the laps ticked by, the battle between GTR, FTR, and THR evolved, with drivers from each establishment trading places throughout the middle stages of the race. Further back, LRT, Lamb Chop, and FTR Bobby traded paint in a furious battle which saw side-by-side action through the Mercedes arena. Lamb Chop would ultimately get the best of the full-throttle racing driver before the end of the race. The closing laps showed no shortage of intensity or heartbreak. The hard-charging GTR Caesar's Wrath looked destined for a good result after starting from 15th on his GTR ABT Motorsport Z4. Despite his hard work, Caesar's Wrath had to finish the race where he started because of damage sustained an unfortunate collision with the pit wall. The silver lining of this was he was guaranteed pole position in the next race after a reverse grid. Up front, Jacob Boquet claimed victory over F4H South by 2.383 seconds after a clinical drive in the wet. Sparky showed promise but ultimately faded back, finishing roughly 11 seconds further behind. The race-long brawl in the mid-pack saw Lothario, Foxy HD, Flex, Ferrari, and Ashton Ash finish 4th through 8th, respectively. Alright, race 2 was reverse grid. The sun once again shined above Nurburgring, Germany, as drivers prepared for the night's second major challenge, this time a reverse grid. Race 1 winner Jacob Boquet would be starting from last place, with Race 1 first lap holder F4H South starting just one grid spot ahead. Up front, it was the GTR trio of Caesar's Wrath, Taisky, and Kabuki occupying 3 out of the top 4 positions, with WRT Kragadon splitting up the bunch. The mid-pack, although reshuffled, ultimately consisted of the same drivers who duked it out in Race 1, which promised an equally exciting second stint to the evening. As the flag dropped, the race appeared far more aggressive than its much wetter predecessor, which led to a hectic first corner, following some contact. On the contrary, F4H South used precision and a cool head to navigate the opening lap. The young British driver maneuvered his way from 14th to 3rd in just under 11 corners. Race 1 winner Jacob Boquet was not far behind, but his climb back to the pointy end of the field proved to be a bit more difficult than his closest challenger. Boquet, who aggressively fought through to 5th in the early stages of the race, met some resistance after climbing to 5th in the opening lap. GTR Caesar's Wrath, who started the race on pole, was incredibly diligent in his defending, which made it difficult for the rapid privateer to get by. As the two jostled for position, they lost time to Taisky and South ahead, while also bringing FTR Bobby and others into the fight. As the two traded positions, Boquet put on an incredible display of patience, making passes on the GTR driver around the outside on a number of occasions. In addition, Caesar's Wrath put on a show of his own, making a few fantastic under-over maneuvers to keep the fight alive. Ultimately, Boquet won out, but lost considerable time to F4H South, who got around Taisky and had now checked out, so to speak. As a result of the aforementioned battle, the mid-pack fight from Race 1 was reignited. This time, Caesar's Wrath, FTR Bobby, GTR Foxy, and others were nose to tail, hoping to capitalize on every mistake. Despite their status as teammates, a feisty fight between Caesar's Wrath and Foxy commenced, with the latter ultimately winning out as a result of a mistake. Up ahead, a recovering THR Ashton Ash was putting up a fight with FTR Bobby for the final podium spot, adding to the action of the race. As the race came to a close, viewers were treated to a phenomenal sprint to the finish between Lambchop, Ferrari, Sparky, and more. Up ahead, there was a heated exchange between FTR and THR, with Lothario putting on a move on Ash for just 4th place just before the checkered flag. Ultimately, F4H South was able to capitalize on his masterful opening lap to win by 3.4 seconds over Jacob Oquette, who was undoubtedly pleased with his performance in the first round of his championship. Further back, it was FTR duo of Bobby and Lothario finishing 3rd and 4th, followed by Ashton Ash, Foxy HD, Ferrari, and Lambchop, who were 5th through 8th, respectively. To conclude this recap, the opening round of the online racing league BMW M Sport Series was a thrilling battle between some of the biggest teams on the site. With the complexity of the battle in the mid-pack, it'll be interesting to see who comes out over the course of the season. Up front, it appears to be a heavyweight matchup between South and Boquete, which is destined to continue through to Monza at the end of the season in March. It's hard to pick some standout stars from such an action-packed series of races, as the battling throughout the field was incredibly impressive. Both South and Boquete performed as expected, each earning methodical victories which are clear to set the tone for the season. GTR Foxy HD also deserves some praise. Despite being in the thick of the battle throughout Race 1 and 2, the GT Racing team driver was calculated and consistent, earning a 5th and 6th place finish. If this trend of consistency continues, Foxy is destined to be a contender before the end of the season. Ultimately, the opening round of ORL's return to Forza 6 was a thriller, with tracks like Sebring, Road America, and Silverstone hanging in the near future. Things are only heating up for this action-packed series. Thank you so much for watching. I also want to thank YMTV for the broadcast. Check out YMTV on Twitch, on YouTube, and be sure to check out their new website. It is really, really well put together, really clean, and of course, it's of top-notch YMTV quality. Thank you, Daniel Nyman, also known as F4H Forceone, for the write-up, and I used it as a script. And I'll see you in the next race. Bye-bye. If you want to support me and the channel, you can use the links down below. If you're in the market for a new office chair or racing chair, I highly suggest using Technosport, really comfy chairs, and really flashy, fashionable chairs as well for your Twitch streams. Use the link down below, and also check out code Merginator for 10% off your order. Then use the link down below for Fanatic Racing Wheels to, further your experience when it comes to sim racing, or just get a badass wheel for Forza, just why not? Thank you so much.